in the country is Tennessee.
Underway, home whites for Tennessee, road black jerseys for the Cardinal. On a two-game road trip after this, they will head to Columbia, South Carolina to face the #1 and undefeated Gamecocks.
Stanford in their man-to-man. Tennessee likes to get the ball into the paint in their first couple of possessions, and they really like to script it early for Tamari Key, their 6'6" post player, number 20 in white.
Rebounds, such a key statistic today as both are good on the glass.
There's Cameron Brink in the pinch, playing off the elbow.
Off the mark. It's a Stanford side that is still kind of finding its way, talking with Tara Vanderveer, still looking for their rhythm, still looking for the right lineup. They've been through some injuries already this year.
8 different players have started early on for Stanford.
Here is Horston using the screen. We'll get it back to Alexis Dye, one of 3 grad transfers in the rotation for Tennessee. Nice box out there for Lexi Hull. She and her sister Lacey have been running the show this year for Stanford. And the pull-up off the mark. Should check out the starting 5. And a jump, the 5th member of that unit. Nice spin off the window, but not the finish for Dye, with Horston, Darby, Key, and Jordan Walker.
Now, Stanford hasn't completed a play yet on the offensive end, but they've had 3 great pushes in transition, and they're able to get the ball deep. It's one of the things that Kelly Harper, the head coach for Tennessee, told us she was concerned about, was their transition defense against a team that really runs the floor hard.
Mid-range pull-up won't go. They combined 7 shot attempts, neither side with an offensive rebound or a second chance just yet. And another miss, and there is the first board. Jump rattled in and out.
Okay, we know the ball's going to go in because it was going in at shoot-around
eventually,
football teams.
Yes. Somebody needs to tickle the twine, loosen it up, and there you go. Jordan Walker, the transfer from Western Michigan, who's just 43 points away from 1,000 in her career. Tremendous success in the MAC, now trying the SEC. And the foul will be called on Key, the junior out of Cary, North Carolina, home of the Imps.
The Cary Imps, that's my high school.
Yes,
if I had any records, they're long gone, thanks to Tamari Key.
That's a big if.
Cameron Brink looks like she got popped in the nose on that play, so she'll get a few seconds to try to...
I think it's a contact lens that popped out.
And she caught it. Did she catch it?
That was a good catch for the sophomore out of Beaverton, Oregon. She's their leading scorer and rebounder this season. Already the proud owner of a 2020 game and a victory over Indiana, the 5th time ever at Stanford, a player of 20 points, 20 rebounds in a game.
Well, this is where Cameron Brink's game has struggled this season. She's just a 44% free throw shooter, but maybe that contact correction is helping her. And that's a great
We did
take.
some math, which you know is always a dangerous thing for you and me, but even if she shot 75%, it's about 25 more points that would be added to her total this year. You've noticed a lot of folks around the country having issues knocking down the freebies.
Actually, of the 65 Power 5 teams in the country, 27 of them on the women's side are shooting less than 70% from the free throw line. That's 41.5% of the teams playing Division I Power 5 basketball that can't make a free throw. It's bad.
Nice takeaway and foul. Good hustle by Horston.
And just to quantify that, on the men's side, there's 26 teams on the men's side, same formula. So 27 on the women, 26 on the men's side. Power 5 not making free throws at better than 70%. And if there's going to be a hustle play, you know one of the holes are going to be involved on Stanford's side.
And that foul was charged to Cameron Brink, her first. And Ashton Prechtel, number 11, will check in as Horston goes to the line. 71% from the stripe. Got 4 double-doubles on the season and was the MVP of their Vegas tournament back in November.
She leads the team in assists as well, Beth. I think she's really starting to evolve and playing without Ray Burrell, which is an issue for Tennessee, although they haven't lost. She was coming into the season their best player, best returning scorer.
Mid-range pull-up is good. Lexi Hull. By the way, Burrell was in at shoot-around today, so they're hoping that she will be able to go shortly, perhaps after the holiday. She got hurt in their season opener. A knee injury has not yet come back. This is what they're missing.
Yeah, I mean, she's an elite scoring motor, led the team in scoring last year, dangerous on the catch or off the bounce, very good at reading and making scoring cuts. So she plays with a change of pace. Hopefully she can come back soon. She's been running the steps. She's been involved in some shooting drills. Nothing contact yet.
They're down another starter, Marta Suarez, out for the season with an injury. Hull to Hull on this connection. The Twins skip Prechtel, and she stepped on the sideline.
That was a terrific defensive possession by Tennessee. High hands on the catch. Gap, help, and then recover back to shooters. Really good defensive effort.
On that end of the floor, Debbie, 5th best in the country. Their field goal percentage defense, opponents shooting just 31% against Kelly Harper's crew. And they have the shot blockers to protect around the rim as well.
Well, when you have that kind of presence in the paint, and there's a difference between protecting the paint and protecting the rim. Tennessee can do both, and you can play up the line and gamble and be a little bit more risky at trying to make plays on the defensive end when you've got protection on the backside.
What's the difference in your mind?
Well,
paint and the rim.
The rim is a shot blocker. The paint is a rotation to be able to draw a charge or to get into gap and make them kick it back out. Good rim protection and good paint protection.
Consecutive turnovers the last 2 trips for Tennessee as Stanford tries to rally their defensive troops. Short on the shot, comes out to jump, steps right into the 3 and knocks it down.
And before that ball even got to Hannah Jump's hand, she's thinking, wow, Merry Christmas, because that one's going in. She is a terrific three-point shooter.
Tara Vanderveer told us nobody works harder than Hannah, always the first one in the gym. Trying to expand her game, the junior out of San Jose.
Tennessee hasn't even gotten into their first pass, and there's 10 on the shot clock.
Off the bounce to the left side, and a foul on the drive by the freshman Sarah Puckett.
You know, one of the things that Tara Vanderveer also talked to us about was discipline in her team and how, you know, times have changed and the way she can manage the discipline level that she brings to her practice and her expectation. But the reason why she can is because she has great relationships with her players. And if you have good relationships with your players, then they understand the tough love that comes with trying to be an elite level team, which Stanford understands since they won the national championship last year.
She's got former players with her on that bench as well. Kate Bay's been there a long time. Katie Stedding was on the national championship team back in the 90s.
Brittany Anderson also. Played at Virginia Tech. Jeanette Poland on the front of the bench, played for Tara as well.
Got a foul called on the screen being set by Prechtel, and that'll be the first on Ashton. 36th season at Stanford, 43 years all told as a head coach. 1,132 wins, almost to the day when she passed Pat Summitt's all-time wins record a year ago.
Tara Vanderveer, a gift to the game, and she continues to give back. She's very philanthropic with her time and with her money.
Couple of hops won't go Tennessee's way, and the scrap for the loose ball, held ball, and will head the other way.
Well, offensive rebounds are going to be tough to come by, but this is an easy early Christmas gift. Merry Christmas, Hannah Jump.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Celebrating with T-Dog. That was the robe that she donned when she set the all-time wins record, and I think they celebrated it back at Maples Pavilion earlier this month. And there is your all-time wins list. Tara, followed by Gino, and then Pat, C. Viv, Barbara Stevens, and Sylvia Hatchell.
Well, it's an impressive list. You and I had the opportunity to be there last year when Stanford went on the road to Pacific to get the W and pass Pat Summitt. It meant a lot to Tara VanDerveer. It was an emotional moment for her, and I think it was emotional for her the other night after their UC Davis game when they celebrated that moment in time, because they couldn't celebrate it last year due to COVID.
Off the steal, here comes Miles, and Brooklyn Miles, the freshman, able to protect with her body and muscle it up and in.
The one thing that you'll notice different about Stanford this year is they play a little bit more off the bounce than they do off the pass, which has thrown off their rhythm some. Now, when they dribble with a purpose and not over dribble like they did the last possession, that makes it more challenging to defend them.
Jones couldn't knock it down using the screen up top. Horston will walk it up for Tennessee. They have wins over Texas and South Florida. Coincidentally, those two teams, Stanford's 2 losses so far this year. The Cardinal did rebound to get wins over ranked Indiana and Maryland. Jones, the wraparound, and the lay-in is good.
A really good contest defensively. They rebound, and it allows them to get in their transition game. Now, Stanford is good if they can transition. That's when they're at their best. If Tennessee can slow them down and make them execute offensively, they can use their speed and athleticism on the perimeter.
That was Kiki Iriafen, who will perhaps get a few more minutes today. Fran Belibi is unavailable for Stanford. And Sarah Puckett showing us why they like to call her Sarah Bucket here in Knoxville.
Well, the more you watch Sarah Puckett, the more you see how easy the game seems to come to her. She plays at her own pace. She's going to be a superstar here at Tennessee by the time she gets to a 4th year.
An impact freshman class for the Lady Vols. Another good box out for Tennessee. Horston tries to Euro and does.
That's a beautiful move in transition.
Here's Jones. Nice backdoor. Hall gets the lay-in. That's Lacey. She and her sister, the seniors out of Spokane, Washington.
Set up the freshman on a backdoor. I like the matchup for Tara VanDerveer with Puckett guarding Hannah Jump. Let's see if the next time down they take advantage of that.
Final 2 minutes of this first quarter of our top 10 affair. Puckett off the mark there. And a chance for Stanford to tie or take the lead. Good hustle to get back to break that up for Jordan Walker. Hey, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame Women's Showcase. Doubleheader for you tomorrow. Number 5 Baylor, 13th ranked Michigan gets us underway at 1 Eastern on ESPN. And the second game of that double dip, Louisville and UConn. So big showcase tomorrow. Also Texas and Arizona. Got a triple header for you coming up tomorrow on a big Sunday for women's college basketball. What a wild season it's already been. I don't know if we can call them upsets. I think parity is true and just and righteous so far through the first month or so of the season.
You know, the other thing too, Beth, is I had a chance to text with Nina King, the D1 chair of the women's basketball committee, who's also the AD at Duke. And, you know, COVID and flu and weather and all those different conditions that could happen that could affect whether the NCAA has to have a minimum number of games to qualify for the NCAA tournament. They're going to be in discussions in January over that.
Jones in transition finds Lexi Hull, and it's an 8-0 Stanford run to take over the lead. Lob in to Puckett, and look at the hustle by Hull to get in there and dig it out.
Yeah, if there is a body on the floor or there's a hustle play, one of the Hulls is usually involved in it. Two hard-working players for Stanford, and she read that help from the strong side and got all the way over there to try to disrupt that play.
Tennessee able to get it into the paint. No good on the attempt from Kian Green.
Good ball pressure by Tennessee in this position. When you see a player getting up the line and overplaying a team and making them work hard on the other end of the floor, you got to be able to get some energy from that.
Hall missed a gimme there, and another nice backdoor move.
Good awareness for one shot by the freshman Brooklyn Miles.
And Frankfort, Kentucky. A Miss Kentucky basketball that got out of the state and came to Knoxville.
Looking for Puckett to set a ball screen here, and then look for her to pop to the three-point line.
Final 10 seconds. Puckett nowhere to go with it, and walked. Not a good possession there for Tennessee, and time now for Stanford.
Without Jordan Horston on the floor, you know, she's their go-to in a late shot clock situation. I think you gave Puckett the ball in a bad spot right there. She wasn't prepared to make a play.
Jones receives and gets it up in time. Almost got it. 17-13, Stanford on an 8-0 run to finish off the first.
Stanford doing a good job of moving the ball when they get an opportunity in transition. If Tennessee doesn't match up, they stick it. A couple of threes for Stanford in the first.
Recent years?
You know, all those games have teams that are loaded with talent, and we're also going to find out what the WNBA draft lottery is going to be. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening tomorrow.
How about the likes of Melissa Smith from Baylor, Naz Hillman at Michigan, Emily Angsler at Louisville, Kristen Williams with a depleted UConn roster.
I'm going to tell you right now, Avina Westbrook's stock is going up. Do not discount her in the conversation for the #1 pick.
All right. We will find out. The lottery is tomorrow, right?
That's right. Look at this drive by Anna Wilson. And you know what? I was just going to tell you, Beth, that Tamari Key was able to really rest in the first half. Only played 3 minutes, or excuse me, in the first quarter. And when Cameron Brink comes in the game, Tamari Key comes in the game. That's a matchup both coaches like.
They have now assisted on 6 of their 7 baskets. They're on a 10-0 run right now. Long rebound, Miles tried to dump it down underneath, and here comes Anna Wilson, who was starting at the point early in the season and now more comfortable coming off the bench. Jones on the drive and gets bumped before the shot.
Now that's a great play by Haley Jones. She gets the tip and deflection on the defensive end, and then she attacks the hip of Tamari Key to give her her first foul, or make that her second foul. So she's going to have to take a seat. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see her. Now let's see Cameron Brink go to work.
Number 22 in the black jersey.
All of a sudden, Tennessee got a little bit smaller on the floor. And now Cameron Brink's going to pick up a foul for setting an illegal screen. Tara Vanderveer looks up and is kind of like, you got to be kidding me. That's her second.
So she will not be able to go to work.
You know, I think we jinxed her today when we were talking to Tara Vanderveer about how Cameron Brink has done really well playing not in foul trouble.
Was that a we or a you?
Oh, I think it's a we.
You pulled me right into that.
Well, I think it's a we.
Jinx. Beth Bowens and Debbie Antonelli with you courtside. Just underway, second quarter. And the triple is good from Sarah Puckett, a freshman to keep your eye on, the Alabama Prep Player of the Year.
Yeah, the more you watch her, the more film I study on her, the more I like her. I mean, she can really light it up. She's got great balance to her textbook-looking jump shot.
Haley Jones fouled on the drive.
That's what Stanford needs to do. They spread you out, and then they attack the lane lines in the middle third in their Princeton offense. You've got to really jump to the ball if you're Tennessee.
First foul on Tess Darby. Stanford hoping that Haley is back to 100%. ASAP, and they are really looking for a breakout game. Hasn't quite happened yet for last year's Final Four MVP and former National High School Player of the Year.
I mean, she does have a triple-double, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, against a
big 30-point blast, something like that.
A quality against a higher level opponent.
She has a triple-double. He has a triple-double. Seem to be quite a few early on in the season. Iowa's Caitlin Clark already has a couple.
I think that has to do with the spacing on the floor, why we see more triple-doubles.
As the three-point shot becomes more prevalent,
Yep.
stretches things out.
Exactly, and post players aren't just go back to the basket. Nobody really puts their post player on the block unless you got a Tamari Key like Kelly Harper has. Princeton does, the Princeton offense doesn't throw a low post player on the block. They operate out of the pinch. And speaking of playing out of the pinch, Fran Beliebe not playing today for Stanford in the concussion protocol. So that's one less post player that Tara Vanderveer has to go against the front line and the rebounding ability of Tennessee.
Haley Jones has been committed to working off the bounce and getting to the free throw line here in the first half. Gets the bounce on that one.
We talked about how bad free throw shooting had been in the Power 5, and they're making them today. Stanford shoots 58% from the free throw line.
12-3 run here for Stanford to open things up a bit. Anna Wilson will try the deep three and knock it down. Just 1 of 8 all season prior to that one.
That looked pretty good, leaving her hand.
Well, we know she's so good defensively. If she can match that with a couple of threes, a couple of buckets per game, that would be huge for the Cardinal.
Anna Wilson and her famous brother, Russell Wilson, the quarterback for Seattle. Watch this right here, hand down. Instead of using the screen, you see her defender, you watch in the eyes of your defender, and your defender is aware that that screen is there. It's a hesitation on putting your hands up.
Double-digit lead for the Cardinal. Tennessee trying to push and get an easy look. Hasn't happened much so far. Horston and the spin die, around and down and one.
It's a great take inside by Dye, and that's Horston just breaking off the play and making a play. Draws 2, Dye gets in her vision. Really strong finish around the rim by Alexis Dye, who led the nation last year in double-doubles. She had 23 double-doubles last year.
Here comes Jones. Numbers for Stanford. Haley looks to take it the distance and does. Rolls it up and in.
See, that's that power game and transition that I'm talking about. When she rebounds, she owns the middle third of the floor.
That was a one-woman break. Here she comes again.
Eyes up, assessing all options. Her handle's good enough in the open floor.
Directing traffic. Layup, good. Hall, timeout Tennessee.
Foot speed an issue right now on the floor for Tennessee.
For those two, but it was a big day for Kelly Jolly. Her first top 10 matchup as the head coach at her alma mater, off to the 9-0 start. Of course, a fabulous point guard for Pat Summitt, a member of the 3 national championship teams with Holtzclaw and the 3 Meeks era.
What a great point guard, and what a great ambassador she's become for the game, and this is the best start in her head coaching tenure. 3 years here, 18 overall. Hard to believe Kelly Jolly Harper has been a head coach for 18 years.
Third season back here at Tennessee and trying to get Rocky Top back on top.
Well, Tennessee calls the timeout so Kelly Harper can get the right personnel on the floor, because I thought they had a foot speed issue here, and then they come off the timeout and they go back-to-back turnovers. I'm wondering if she can trust Tamari Key. I heard Rebecca and
With the
Nikki
two
talking
fouls,
about, yeah, I think, you know, sometimes you got to trust if you can put them in a position, but a lot of time with bigs, that's hard to do.
Because you're getting close to a little danger zone now with an 11-2 run over the last 3 minutes for Stanford, and the foul down on the baseline. Yep, that's going to be on Green.
What a hard cut, and what a good play by Tara Vanderveer's team to know that Tennessee's going to start to ramp up the pressure, right? I wouldn't even be surprised to see if Kelly Harper picks up a little bit full court. Now, here's the thing, Beth. Against a Stanford team, if you open up the floor by picking up full court pressure, that gives them more space to operate in. They're really good. You got to get them in tight spaces. That's why you see Tennessee, although they're not getting on the offensive glass, they are doing a good job of getting back in transition. They just got to match up sooner and stop the ball.
11 points now for Hull to lead the way for the Card.
It's a really interesting conversation to have with Kelly Harper because they're such a good offensive rebounding team, yet Stanford's so good at transitioning.
Second chance here for Tennessee, and then a held ball, and it will go to the other end.
Of course, it's a Hull. This time it's Lexi.
Playing with the nose plug in after she got bopped. Tennessee fans screaming for a foul on that one. Won't get the whistle.
And 3 empty possessions in a row for Tennessee.
Under 5 to go in the first half. Undefeated record on the line for the Lady Vols at 9-0.
Tennessee really playing in the gap. See, everybody doing a good job of keeping their head on the ball.
Jones using her length to get into the lane and then swoop it up and in.
Like that shouldn't happen the way Tennessee's got their defense loaded up to the strong side. And that's a slow developing play off the bounce. Like they're already in the gaps. They shouldn't be giving up that bucket.
It's another 7-0 run for Stanford.
Watch right here. This is what Haley Jones sees. 3 players, yet she makes this great move and finishes in the paint. What a terrific play, and maybe this is the night.
This might be 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists here in the first half. The triple-double came against Portland, 17 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. First at Stanford in a couple of decades. As Horston hits on the free throw. Tomorrow we'll have the second game of the inaugural Pac-12 Coast to Coast Challenge. On the women's side, Texas and Arizona. Sunday night, 5:30. It's Kate Reese and the Cats. Lost to Stanford by a single solitary point in the national championship game last year. First time in history that the national champion won both of their games at the Final Four by just 1 point over South Carolina and Arizona. And of course the rematch with South Carolina on the ESPN networks on Tuesday night. That is where Stanford will head on the bus tomorrow.
Didn't you love the tournament last year?
Fabulous.
Okay.
I wish fans could have been there.
I know.
All together.
That's the only thing that we missed, really, was having all the fans there. There were some fans there, but a true S-curve made it a really competitive event.
And a treat to watch all those teams all in one place.
Well, we're fans. We were there. It was fun.
Tennessee struggling at this end of the floor, just 2 of 11 in this second quarter, under 4 minutes to go.
Tennessee doesn't seem to have anyone that can get in the gap and make a play for somebody else, right? Dribble penetration to the paint and kick.
We talked about the rebound significance, a huge advantage here in the first half for Stanford as Jones travels with it.
That's probably not a good spot to give Haley Jones the basketball because she's not a three-point threat. Certainly not in transition. See Tara Vanderveer motioning for them to run their offense.
Horston can't knock that one down.
Now, see, right now it looks to me like Jordan Horston's trying to do it by herself, right? She needs to pass and cut. They need to move the ball, make Stanford work on the defensive end.
And she is just 1 of 8 here in the first half.
Look, I understand her competitive spirit, right? She's trying to get it all back at once, but you got to chip away at it right here. The next 3 minutes will be really important for them.
Now 1 for 9 in this first half.
And she's gotten to the free throw line. Maybe that's what she needs to look to do, is try to get to the free throw line.
Looking for the back door again, and they're able to link up. 5th assist for Jones as she finds Hannah Jump. This would be a bit of a statement, Debbie, if you come to Tennessee and then follow it up in South Carolina at SEC country for the defending national champs as they try and pull off an impressive double. Of course, the Gamecocks looking every bit the front runner right now for the national championship this year in Minneapolis. They are undefeated and looking awfully good.
Oh, there's good, and then there's great, and then there's elite. That's where South Carolina is right
already,
now.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Aaliyah Boston, are you kidding me? I mean, she's the player of the year right now.
Yep.
I don't think there's any doubt. She's put up the numbers. Dawn Staley has them clicking. They got depth. And it is tough to go into Colonial
it's
Life.
going to be electric, isn't it?
It's going to be great.
Eminopu in the lineup for Stanford. Jump for 3. Got it.
So good. Sets her feet. The best three-point shooter. Such a quick release. As you mentioned, first in the gym, last to leave.
What are those 5 words that Tara Vanderveer was telling us about Hannah Jump and improving your game? Force me to play you. That's a good lesson for all young players out there that are fighting for playing time in their careers, looking for a spot in the lineup.
Look, it's a big misnomer, and I'm sure that Nikki Fargas will back me up on this. Coaches don't really decide playing time. Players do. They decide in practice. And when you've got a lot of depth, and in the way the game is today, you got to figure out a way to play everybody. So you got to change what you do defensively. You got to up your tempo. You've got to get players on the floor, or they're just going to go in the portal and leave.
She's been putting in the work. She's been having a lot of fun. Almost as much fun as Debbie and I courtside, actually counting out 5. Force me to play you on our fingers over here. That is 5. We double checked. Big second quarter for Stanford. They're looking to put an exclamation point on it. Final 2 minutes. Jones looks so comfortable, so confident, so in control out there this afternoon for Stanford. And her teammates backing her up. That's Kiki.
Well, Tara Vanderveer told us her team had to stay on the glass. They are plus 10 on the boards here in the first half.
24-8, outscoring Tennessee here in the second. They've bumped it up to a 20-point game. The dig down for Wilson, and she's whistled for the foul. Reached in on Green. Hey, coming up tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. It's the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, presented by Stiefel, Utah State, and Oregon State. Capital One Bowl Mania continues on ESPN and tonight on ABC.
I bet Johnny Carson is wishing he had done that.
I think in Johnny's day there were only 8 bowl games. Now there's 48. Bowl season underway. Who you got in your national championship game, by the way? The semifinals this year on New Year's Eve. Michigan, Georgia, and Alabama, Cincinnati.
Well, Alabama, and I don't know if Cincinnati can hang with them or not. It's going to be really tough. And then on the other side, my Ohio State roots don't allow me to root for Michigan in football, so my Clemson ties don't really allow me to root for Georgia, so.
That's a tough one for you.
That's a tough one.
Oh, Haley Jones splits the defenders and lays it up and in. I'll go Alabama, Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going to go Alabama, Georgia.
Okay. Miles for 3. Got it.
She's played well, and she's been playing well. After starting the season going 0 for 9 in the first 8 games outside the arc, she's made 3 of her last 4.
Shot clock is off. Waning moments of the first half. Look at Miles defending on Wilson now.
You got to go.
Who's going to have the ball in their hands here? Tough spot for Jones. She'll get a clean look at it. Front rims it. 26-13. Stanford doubles up Tennessee in the second quarter. And they lead into the break. As we get you back to the studio for our halftime report. Here's Kevin.
For Stanford as they win their 3rd national championship last year in San Antonio.
All 10 of her points in that second quarter. Lexi Hull leading the way with 11. They have assisted on 10 of their 15 baskets and have opened up the lead over Tennessee. Jordan Horston was just 1 for 9 in that first half, and Tamari Key only played 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Both she and Cameron Brink were in foul trouble, and they are both back in the game.
Well, Cameron Brink played 4 minutes and 20 seconds, so they both had 2 fouls, and Tennessee will definitely play the key here in the second half while she's on the floor.
Well, they need more of this. The turnovers turning into points at the other end. The easy way for Dye.
Look at the cushion that Tamari Key will give Cameron Brink at the elbow.
One of the things that Kelly Harper told us at shoot-around today, she knows this team has some fight. She knows they play with some toughness and certainly a lot of pride when you put that checkerboard jersey on.
Well, when you like your team, you believe that they can do this, come out and make a quick run here to start the second half. I thought Stanford showed great offensive maturity in the first half. They got the shots that they wanted. Tennessee's got to dictate the shots with their defense. There's Key deep in the paint.
Third foul on Brink. And she will quickly come out. Prechtel will replace her. And an aggressive start here for Tennessee.
And Tamari Key gets 2 feet in the paint at the front of the rim at 6'6". She's too much to handle. We saw what she was able to do to Elizabeth Kitley at Virginia Tech, who is a 6'6" player and a really good post player in their win on the road at Virginia Tech. And Tamari Key dominated that matchup. We just haven't seen her get enough minutes here because of foul trouble.
She's got 4 consecutive double-doubles coming in.
Yeah, that's clearly a foul by Cameron Brink. You got to fight for real estate again when you're going against Tamari Key. Remember, this was a 20-point game.
Down to a dozen. Hull off the bounce. A couple of missed layups here for Stanford early on. Window of opportunity is open for Tennessee, and that's been the one bugaboo really for Horston's game all season. Too many turnovers.
Well, that is her 3rd turnover in the game. She averages 5. We asked Kelly Harper if there was anything that we could anticipate that maybe she could trim that number down. And honestly, you know, Horston just plays hard, so she appreciates that, but she wishes she would make some better decisions once in a while.
Got a decision to make here again on the move. Tess Darby. And now Walker. Dye will face up. Jones. Patient, gets to the other side, around and out. Stanford opening up the half, 0 for 5. And another Tennessee turnover. They've missed a couple of chances here to chip away.
See Alexis Dye right there saying, hey, come on, settle down now. We got to have you. Like I think Horston right now has to impact the game in other ways besides trying to score or trying to make the big play. Play some D right here, rebound, and get your team an opportunity like that. There's a great defensive play by Horston.
With the steal, and she'll go to the line. Kelly Harper really liked her growth, her maturity, not to let the last play dictate the next play, and we saw it right there.
Well, that's what my friend Kevin Eastman talks about all the time. Next and every. Next play, every play. She's done a good job of getting to the free throw line. Now maybe if she makes some free throws, a player like Horston can start to see a big basket and maybe shots will start to fall.
3 of 4 in the ball game from the line.
It's not the number of shots she's taken, it's the quality of the shot, right? She's their leading scorer. You expect her to take some shots, but they've got to be a better look.
Gina Cross, Felicia Grentner, Carlina Tobin are officials. And long overdue. I think a shock for all of us around the game to find out that the officials in the men's NCAA tournament were getting paid more than the officials in the women's NCAA tournament over the years. And that will be remedied this year.
Now, you know the coaches are going to expect them to be perfect in the
Don't they
NCAA tournament
already?
now. Well, they do. But you know what? You know what that means to me is just that the referee's by. That's what it means when you see them on the road.
If you run into them on the road.
Yes,
all right.
actually, I don't know. I've never known a referee not to pick up the tab.
Horston again trying to be disruptive on the defensive end.
See, she's long. She's affecting the vision on the top of the floor, and that's where she can be really dangerous. Look how long she is. Look at her move her feet. Good ball pressure.
They have definitely turned up the intensity after they got roughed up in that second quarter. Different team here in the third.
And Stanford doesn't like ball pressure. They do not like it. They lost to Texas, turning it over 20 times in that game. And they have made some adjustments since. They lost to South Florida, another team that likes ball pressure.
8 Stanford possessions in this third quarter. They've missed 5 shots and they've turned it over the other 3 times. And Tennessee looking to get this back into single digits.
I think Tennessee needs to move the ball. They need to pick up the cadence and the rhythm that they play through on this end of the floor in the quarter court. Give Tamari King a chance to shape up also.
Dye off the bounce, and look at this, from 20 points down to 9. And Stanford turned it over on the inbound.
Yeah, that's a lack of focus.
This is a veteran group who have been in big moments, in big arenas their entire careers. Key blocked. Prechtel got a piece of it.
I like to see big girls go to their go-to move. Don't counter. Score, punish the defense with your go-to move.
Jones tied up and lost it. Walker in the trail, gets the 3 up and hits it. And they are on their feet in Knoxville. Timeout Stanford.
Stanford has not scored in the third quarter. A 13-0 run dating back to the end of the second quarter by Tennessee. What a turnaround out of the locker room. We got a 2-possession game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. An 11-0 explosion out of the locker room for Tennessee, and they are right back in it after trailing by 20 in the first half.
Well, the difference is Tennessee has been able to score, and so they're not playing in transition, and their transition defense isn't being challenged every possession. Now they're able to set their D, they're able to get some stops, and then they're able to run and score out of those stops. Stanford has got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. They've turned the ball over 5 times.
5 turnovers
in 4 minutes.
and 5 missed shots. And now that has awakened the crowd as well here at Thompson Bowling Arena. Playing on the Summit Court here in Knoxville. Lady Vols trying to protect not only this house, but their undefeated record at 9-0, and Haley Jones misses again. Guy, the blow by, and 1.
That is 4 on Cameron Brink. What a play by Alexis Dye. She uses her athleticism to get to the other side of the rim. Cameron Brink is a tremendous shot blocker and hasn't had a chance all day because that's 4 fouls and she will sit.
Just 6 minutes of court time for Brink due to the foul problems. And all of a sudden, this is a 2-possession game. Dye with 8 points in this quarter. 10 all told. Hole for 3. Still without a basket here in the third. And another turnover. Dye spins into the paint, blocked by Jones. Ran into the double team instead of away from it.
She did not give up on the play, Haley Jones. And then she turns it over.
7 turnovers here in the first 6 minutes of the quarter.
That offensive maturity that I talked about in the first half for Stanford has disappeared.
Yeah. For a team with just about everybody back from their championship squad a year ago, we're finding out how valuable Kiana Williams was last year running the point, that's for sure.
Well, she led them in scoring, and they have 12 of 13 players back from that national championship team. Now the momentum has swung, and Tennessee is the aggressor here.
Timeout on the court, and a massive turnaround in Knoxville in the favor of Tennessee, down 4. Hey, stick around, by the way. Not only the fourth quarter to come, but then the national championship for women's volleyball, an all Big Ten affair. You got Wisconsin trying for a first national championship, their 4th trip to the finals, and you got Nebraska seeking a 6th national title. Even though they're the 10 seed, they're coming on strong.
Well, John Cook's team has the experience. And Wisconsin swept them twice in the regular season.
Yes.
Wisconsin's got Dana Redkey at 6'8", National Player of the Year as a middle hitter, Beth. Have you seen them?
They are terrific.
Well, I'm going with Nebraska in 4.
That is such a fabulous event.
It's so many great athletes playing in the volleyball Final Four.
Offensive rebound, Prechtel still without a basket in this third quarter. They've been shut out 13-0.
Good D by Brooks Dimitri. He was a 6'3" freshman for Tara Vanderveer, who gets her first minutes here in the game.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Not only are you looking for a win this time of year, but you're also looking for what's your depth going to look like? What's your second unit going to look like? How deep will you be able to go when you roll into conference play and ultimately into the postseason?
I think there's some teams still figuring out some rotations, but it goes to what we spoke about earlier in the first half about how you got to play players. You got to play them if you want them to stay. If you don't want them to stay, don't play them. They'll go in the transfer portal and go play somewhere else.
One of the things we love about this rivalry is both these programs love the early season, the non-conference tests against a respected foe.
Well, Stanford has played a challenging schedule.
This is their 5th game against a ranked opponent. They're 2-2. 2-0 for Tennessee against ranked foes.
That's how you become the all-time winningest coach. You put your team up against the best competition so you can find ways to tweak and change and get better. They better figure out a way to score here in the third quarter.
Still nothing doing. At least they're getting some second chances and some better looks. They'll try again for 3. 0 for 12 in the third quarter. And the block. Swatted by Key.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a team
for the
make a
tie.
basket. There's a steal.
Horston, the scoop. Around and out. This place is ready to blow the roof off. They were down by 20. And now they're knocking on the door. And the foul and a chance for Stanford to break the seal at the free throw line.
See, that's a mistake by Kelly Harper's team in transition. How can you let Haley Jones dribble down the middle of the floor and get all the way to the front of the rim? She forced the rotation and then drops it off. Kiki Ariafin, she's a 6'3" freshman, so there's a couple of freshmen on the floor right now, or there was for Tara Vanderveer as Dimitri's taking a seat.
That was the 3rd foul on Tamari Key. She and Brink have been in trouble today, and finally, they find the bottom of the net. Still without a field goal in the quarter. Now they finally have a point up.
Remember, we saw that quarter, Connecticut against Georgia Tech, that they didn't have a field goal in that fourth quarter till the last, about the same amount of time on the clock, actually, here in the third for Stanford.
That was an 8-minute and 16-second scoring drought.
So it can happen to some of the best teams.
And a foul on the drive. Good aggressive move by Kian Green.
I think you got to know here that if you're Hull, you got to help off that. You do have Miles. She has hit a 3, but you got to protect inside out. And Tennessee's a team on the season that only makes 4 threes a game.
Horston will check back in. The foul was on Kiki, her 2nd. Hey, coming up tonight on ESPN, 9:15 Eastern, it's the New Orleans Bowl, capping off our bowl quadruple header, the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Louisiana and Marshall. That would be your Ragin' Cajuns and your Thundering Herd tonight on ESPN or on your app if you're out and about on this Saturday evening.
The other thing, too, is Tennessee has been able to make this comeback, and Horston has shot 1 for 12 from the floor. And she has done some other things here in the third quarter with her defense and her energy level, showing that she's the leader of this team to help them in the comeback, even though she hasn't scored.
Alexis Dye has picked up the scoring, and Kiki gets the first basket of the quarter for Stanford.
I thought that was a good no call.
Puckett, the feed inside, and look at Wilson coming over to knock it loose. Head up as she pushes tempo. Jump for 3. In and out, and a foul will get Jones to the line.
It's a pretty good lineup on the floor for Tara Vanderveer right now from a defensive standpoint, and also, Anna Wilson, I think she's got great energy. So I think when she comes in as a 6th-year senior, you talked about her before, Beth, being a defensive stopper. She just can get them into the rhythm of their offense faster.
She was the co-defensive player of the year in the Pac-12 last year and got the steal to trigger the break, and Jones with her first point of this second half. She had 10 in the second quarter. Lady Vols' significant misses at the line could prove to be costly later on. Back up to an 8-point advantage.
Good lock and trail right there by Anna Wilson. Keeping the pressure on.
1 minute to go here in the third. Dye, she's been their go-to. Second chance. And a foul on the card.
You know, I think sometimes you got to take your chances and foul Tennessee and let them make it at the free throw line. I mean, if this game comes down to free throws, neither one of these teams, Tennessee on the season 60%, Stanford 58 coming into the game. And they've shot them better today.
Yeah. 14 makes, but 9 misses for Tennessee at the line. Lexi Hull just picked up her third foul.
Got to be prepared to rebound, though.
And they do. Dye. She's got 12.
You don't usually see the officials call a foul on the free throw line. That's where it gets really physical. And there's a turnover, or almost. Alexis Dye came out of the locker room ready to play, too. Very active, very aggressive.
Looks like they will allow the substitution here. And that's going to be a foul on the opposite side. This could prove costly. Is that on Hull? And that is her fourth. So 2 starters with 4 fouls before Stanford reaches the fourth quarter. Free throw is good. Junior out of Columbus, Ohio. Knocks down a pair. She's got 9. What a 6-second difference. Shot and game clock. Prechtel got her feet right. Missed the shot. Jump keeps it alive. Nope. Out of bounds to Tennessee, and a shot at a 3 to tie. Down 20 at one point. They have outscored Stanford 20-6 here in the third quarter.
Kelly Harper going for the last possession here offensively, putting Darby back on the floor to try to maybe potentially get a 3. This is a good offensive team on the floor right now. Substitute offense and defense.
Puckett. Long on the 3, and now a chance here. Wilson with the push. Got time, the kick out. 3, good if it goes. Got it, Stanford. And a 6-point swing goes the Cardinal way as Tennessee does not hold for the final shot.
You sub for offense for the last possession. You shoot it too early, and what a great job of that offensive maturity that I've been talking about. Time and score awareness. Anna Wilson with a perfect pass, on time, on target. Hannah Jump with a triple.
52-46, Stanford with the lead, but it was a huge third quarter comeback for Tennessee. Can they complete the rally in the fourth when we return? Thousands of people have been affected by southern and Midwest tornadoes in recent weeks. If you would like to help, please visit redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from this disaster.
You and I were in Louisville last week, and we saw the incredible water drive that Jeff Walls and the mayor of Louisville put together for the western part of the state. It was so touching to be a part of that.
The Kentucky Athletic Department also had a big fundraiser to help out with supplies and support for Western Kentucky. We are just underway here at Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. Our top 10 showdown. The defending champion Stanford Cardinal, well, they got knocked around a bit in that third quarter. They were outscored 20-9. Allowing Tennessee to get back in at 15 points off of turnovers, and what was once a 20-point game is much tighter.
Yeah, we got a game now. Here we go, fourth quarter, like details, no game slippage, execution, follow the scout defensively. All those details have to come in play right now to finish this game.
Tennessee is undefeated courtesy of 4 fourth quarter comebacks already this year. Do they have another one in them? Anna Wilson for 3. Long rebound, saved by Jones.
When you catch the ball, you have to look like a threat to be able to score.
Cameron Brink in the game, number 22 in black, playing with 4 fouls. Haley Jones, no.
See, that's just no one personnel. Like, you're going to drive in the gap on Hannah Jump's side of the floor. She can make a 3. Oh, Darby just two-hand shoved Hannah Jump right in front of the official, and they missed it.
Held ball, Tennessee will keep.
That's about toughness right there. Okay, we know Kelly Harper told us her team was tough. She believes in them. She says she sleeps good at night because she's got kids that play hard, and she knows they're good kids. They're not getting in trouble.
Torsten, right back to Key. No, die, count it.
Is that on Cameron Brink?
That is, and she is fouled out of the game.
Really, no defensive discipline at all. 8 minutes in the game for Cameron Brink, who's the leading scorer and rebounder for Stanford. On the Wade, the Wooden, and the Naismith watch list. And we didn't get treated to watching her play today.
A huge second half for Alexis Dye. We'll just keep track of the free throws just in case. That is now 11 missed freebies for Tennessee. But look at the scrap to get after it.
When you're a very mediocre free throw shooting team, you have to work on rebounding on the free throw line. And that's Tennessee's thing, right? Rebounding. They were minus 10 in the first half. They have closed that margin a little bit here in the second.
Jones with the block and the steal. Probing and a collision and a blocking foul on Key. And that is her 4th. Well, this is where Jones was at her best in the second quarter, Debbie. Off the bounce, attacking the rim.
Well, when she was able to rebound and no one stops the ball. Yep. So, you know, if you're Kelly Harper, you got to be really upset with your guards for allowing Haley Jones to get that deep and put that kind of pressure on the back row for Tamari Key to have to defend. Like, stop the ball. This is not a typical Stanford team either. Usually you have to transition to the three-point line. You can transition to the paint and then match up. You got to know where Hannah Jump is. They don't shoot the 3 as well as traditional Stanford teams.
Prepto.
She does.
Oh, there you go.
But that's on an out-of-bounds play.
Ashton with the 3. They're hoping she'll heat up a bit from outside. She has been a subpar 26% from downtown to date, but has that range at 6'5", can step away. Horston.
Yeah, see, I think a lot of standing, and Jordan Horston's running around trying to get open.
Again, the rebound, the run. Jones can't convert that one.
So look at Haley Jones shadow her up the floor, and now you got to match up with her, with Walker.
Horston drops it off inside, and Puck missed it wide open.
Wow. Well, that was a miscommunication rotating defensively, because that was not Anna Wilson's help, and they didn't get matched up right in transition. That's why you got to run through your stuff faster. Like, guarding the ball off the bounce and guarding transition is tough.
Brechtel, heat check.
Did she come through that elevator door screen, or was that just a stagger on the top? Brechtel back-to-back triples.
And it's back to a double-digit lead. Off the ball fake, Puckett for two. A lot of minutes for Sarah, the freshman, having an impact. Got a whistle off the ball on the cut. Hey, got a big day tomorrow for you, and it will start with the Basketball Hall of Fame Women's Showcase doubleheader. Baylor and Michigan, Sunday at 1 o'clock on ESPN. Nikki Collin, the new head coach for the Lady Bears, with Kim Mulkey off to LSU. And then the second game from Connecticut is UConn-Louisville. Brechtel with her third in a row.
How sweet is that, to have the size of Hannah Brechtel off the bench, to be able to knock down triples here late in the fourth quarter.
Tennessee called for the travel. 9 straight points for Ashton Brechtel. And everybody in the arena, eyes on her. Can she make it 4 straight?
Well, if Stanford can hang on here with this double-digit lead, I think Tara Vanderveer learned something about her team also, because they did not have a good third quarter. And they didn't play well. They didn't make shots. They didn't get back in transition, and Tennessee took it to them. But then they seemed to take a collective deep breath and start to execute.
Jump. Brechtel did not get a touch that time up the floor. Pull up, Walker short. She'll get the rebound. Puckett. Offensive foul, and it's Anna Wilson coming over to take the charge.
Yeah. That's the way you rotate to the strong side. Watch the sprint by Anna Wilson to get outside the restricted area. She reads this and has time to have a cup of coffee. She gets there so fast. That is a tremendous hustle play. Brechtel's threes, and that play right there can give the whole team a boost of energy.
Brechtel, the kick out to jump. Anna throws it away. And they're going to get a foul here on Lacey Hull for the hold of Walker. That's her third.
We're keeping on the team fouls as well. Tennessee with 3, Stanford with 2. Both teams with 3 timeouts.
Tamari Key is back on the floor for Tennessee with the 4 fouls, and so is Lexi Hull.
See, if you can go offense-defense with Tamari Key right now to finish the game, I like that by Kelly Harper and her staff.
Stanford has already lost Cameron Brink. She's fouled out. Horston. Boy, what a big shot for her. She was 1 of 13 prior to that make. Stayed in it with her defense, with her trips to the free throw line.
Well, it's a good call. You get her going right, coming off that circle action, off that screen, gets the switch, and elevates over Haley Jones.
Jones off the drive, no. Brechtel cleans it up, and it's in.
How about Brechtel's fourth quarter? Are you kidding me? Cameron Brink 8-minute sits. Prechtel, fourth quarter, outstanding.
11 points in the fourth quarter. And the three for Horston, and now she's hit a couple in a row. And an offensive foul on the screen against Prechtel.
That's the second one she's had called on her on the top of the floor. You got to be better in that twist action on the top of the floor. You got to do this. Prechtel, that's what you're out on the floor for. 3 consecutive triples to give Stanford a double-digit lead. Swept Nebraska in the regular season. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going setter Nicklin Hams to Maddie Kubik all night. Nebraska wins in 4.
Oh,
and
okay.
My volleyball consigliere confirms that.
That is coming up next for the title. We know a Big Ten team's going to win it. Which one? It would be a 6th for Nebraska, a 1st for Wisconsin. Of course, Stanford fans watching, you guys know you've got 9 volleyball titles.
Tamari Key picks up that cheap foul, and that's 5.
her 5th.
Wow, disappointing to see Tamari Key and Cameron Brink not have the kind of influence on the game we thought they were going to have. But look, John Cook, the Nebraska volleyball coach, he's no Russ Rose, but he is top 5 all-time wins in volleyball. We got the all-time wins leader here in Stanford for basketball, and Tara Vanderveer. In the house that Pat built.
Double doubles for Haley Jones with the ball, and for Jordan Horston for Tennessee. Closing in on the final 3 minutes. And the undefeated record on the line for the Lady Vols at 9-0. Tara, by the way, out for her walk this afternoon.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
always a stop at the bronze statue outside.
She loves coming here. She said that there was one time that she was here, the place was sold out, it was packed. Pat comes walking out, they shake hands before the game, and Tara says, Pat, look around, look what you've built. And Pat says, Tara, I love you. She said, how do you respond to that? She said, that's one of her great memories about coming here to play.
Did a butt whooping follow that?
Yes, it did.
I love you exchange, probably. Tara has bounced back, of course, fond memories here at the Summit for her and the Cardinal, their first national championship won on this court back in 1990. They won again in 92, and then a long, long time before they picked up their 3rd last season. And it's hard to believe, Debbie, here in Knoxville, 2008, the last time that Tennessee has been to a Final Four and won their last of 8 national titles.
2007, 2008 makes me reference Candace
Candace Parker.
and I am wearing my Candace Parkers here
look at
today
you,
in
name
honor
dropper.
of Candace.
Sneaker dropper. Well, what a great story, Candace going back to Chicago to win the WNBA championship in her home city.
Ten on the shot clock. With a foul to give. Alexis Dye trying to be aggressive, trying to come up with a steal. Excuse me, no fouls to give. That's a 5th team foul.
In an 8-point game, Tennessee has missed 13 free throws today. Stanford, conversely, 12 of 14.
We asked Tara Vanderveer about shooting 58% from the free throw line on the season. It's the worst in the Pac-12. Shockingly, she's never had a team that's done that before, but she also doesn't talk about it.
Nope.
And they've made them today.
Those are the first non-Ashton Prechtel points of this 4th quarter. Prechtel, the 3 big 3-pointers in a row, has helped the 3rd-ranked team in the country pull away a bit. Horston
It's
heating
not
up at the right time.
Yes, it's not too late to get hot. She's had 2 triples here late in this 4th quarter.
17 now in the game.
She's only made 2 coming in to this game on the season.
Jones, Dye got a piece of it, and right there to scoop it up and in. Iriafen.
Boy, she's going to be good. 6'3", just another freshman, part of this really good number 6 rated freshman class.
Final 2 minutes, and now time of the essence for Tennessee.
And they got to attack.
Another three-pointer, and the timeout for the Lady Vols.
Aggressively shooting the 3 here in the 4th quarter. Gets it back to a 2-possession game. Horston's hit a couple of triples. Now it's Walker.
'38th meeting all time, Stanford and Tennessee, and another good one for a couple of programs with 11 national championships combined, 32 trips to the Final Four, over 2,500 wins for these 2 storied programs.
Full court pressure. You have Haley Jones inbounded so she can get it right back. And Stanford doesn't like this kind of pressure.
National champs last year finished 31-2. A loss today would be their 3rd of this young season as they try and hold on. They've been up by as many as 20 tonight.
Well, we watched Stanford go through at shoot-around about 15 different inbounds plays from the sideline. You got to be aggressive right here. You got to meet the pass. You got to be strong with the basketball. Good try right there by Tennessee to get the jump. But they call a foul.
That'll be the 2nd on Horston. And Anna Wilson to the line.
If Horston only has 2 fouls, she can be more aggressive here to finish this off because she's got great length, she's got anticipation, skills, she's already had steals and deflections defensively.
Anna Wilson just 5 of 6 all year from the line. She's been good at the stripe, just not a lot of chances. Knocks down the first.
Tennessee's got to run the floor hard here. And they got to look to attack. You don't need to settle for the 3s, but you got to push. You got to play with tempo.
They'll get a look from 3 and a clean one. Dye rebounds. Around and out. Stanford will keep it.
Another good deflection by Horston allows them to set their full court pressure here. If you're Tennessee, you got to make them come back to the ball. You can't get beat over the top.
1:13 to go on deck. The National Volleyball Championship match. Wisconsin and Nebraska.
You got to get it over midcourt. They're not going to get it over.
Good defense in the takeaway for Tennessee.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at the effort of Horston. That's a competitor who wants to win. She's made plays on both sides of the ball here in the 2nd half after having a poor shooting start.
Offense for defense substitution. Tennessee gets Darby into the game. 35% 3-ball shooter.
And Tara Vanderveer counters with defense.
Lacey Hull will come on to defend Darby. She's the inbounder. Open look for Dye, mid-range, no. And Haley Jones has it. Final minute, and the foul. Don't forget also tomorrow a triple header on ESPN. Baylor, Michigan at 1 o'clock. Louisville, UConn at 3:30. Texas, Arizona at 5:30. And in the midst of all that, the WNBA draft lottery tomorrow.
I know everyone knows Melissa Smith at Baylor and Naz Hillman at Michigan, but I'm looking for Jordan Lewis from Baylor and Leah Brown from Michigan to have big games to determine the outcome of that one.
Clutch, Haley Jones, and a 9-point game. Stanford 85% at the free throw line. Tennessee just 55%. And Jones has another board and a whistle.
Haley Jones It's Prechtel knocking down triples and doing her job on the offensive end. And Haley Jones playing a complete game on the offensive side, handling the ball against pressure, getting to the free throw line here late.
Trying to secure their third top 10 win of the season. They've already gotten Indiana and Maryland.
Now I would expect Tennessee to advance the ball here.
Yep, that's what Kelly Harper just yelled to her players, advance.
We had a great conversation with her today about strategy, didn't we? I mean, breaking the game down, and she sees the game so clearly as a point guard. Such a competitor.
Timeout, Tennessee.
And it's been a full day for Kelly and John Harper, her husband, who's an assistant coach for her. It started out early this morning. This is not the only big game that she had to deal with today. Her 8-year-old son, Jackson, had an incredible stat line this morning. They moved the game so Kelly and John could go and watch Jackson play, and it's the first time he scored a basket. So
coach assists?
3 coach assists. That means he did his job. He got the ball where it was supposed to be, but they missed the layup.
They missed the layup, okay.
Okay, so that's what, when you're watching film, that's an old Dean Smith I learned from our buddy Fran Fraschilla. So I asked Coach Harper how many coaches assists Jackson had today, and he had 3.
43 seconds to go in this one. 72-61 Stanford. Haley Jones, 18 points, a career-high 19 rebounds, and 6 assists. And that sort of breakout performance that Stanford was hoping for in a big game against a ranked opponent, well, she delivered tonight.
I think they were challenged. I think the game's not over. Honestly, we've still got plenty of time here. If Tennessee can run a play for Horston to hit a 3 or Puckett,
get some takeaways,
and then look to extend the game by getting a steal or a trap. You got to score here. You have to score in this possession. I like Puckett.
Miles turns it over.
Lady ball foul against number 1, Sarah Puckett, her third.
Well, this is why you play these games, Beth. You know, you play against quality competition in the non-conference so you can get ready for league play. Situational offense, important for both these teams in the leagues that they play in. And, you know, Cameron Brink's got to stay out of foul trouble.
She and Key, I think reminders today that they've got to stay on the floor. Both in foul trouble, both DQ'd.
Well, that's the first time that Cameron Brink has fouled out of the game. It's also the second time for Key.
Horston gets the layup. And the inbound to Hull.
Got to pass it. Tennessee electing
they will
not
keep
to
moving,
foul.
and Tennessee will not foul. So they got out to the big lead, lost their way a little bit, did Stanford. Tennessee threatened, and then the Cardinal, with the chips down in the fourth quarter, made the plays that made the difference. And Tennessee will fall for the first time, 9-1, and Stanford a third top 10 win of the year to improve to 8-2. And we will see them again on ESPN on Tuesday night at South Carolina. That one should be a dandy.